Alright, so I drew my own blood here and put it into a EDTA purple top tube, and then I used a syringe, put it in here, sucked up some blood, and placed a drop on a slide so I can make a smear where we have a feathered edge. So yeah, and now I want to stain the smear so that I can view it under a microscope and be able to differentiate the different types of white blood cells. So we have fixative, which will make sure everything stays on the slide and doesn't come off during the dyeing process. Then we have Eosin, which is acidic and will dye the acidic parts of the smear. And then we have Methylene blue, which is basic and will dye the basic components of the smear. And then we have reverse osmosis water, which is the next best thing when you don't have distilled water available. So we have to flood the smear with fixative for 10 seconds, then Eosin for 10 seconds, then methylene blue for 10 seconds, and then we rinse in water for 10 seconds. So I'm basically just going to fill the syringe. This one's for fixative, Eosin, methylene blue, and then I'll just apply it to the slide since the hole right here is not big enough to dip, which I think would be easier to apply it, but we'll just be flooding the slide. So I'm just going to take the lids off of all of these. And then we have our fixative syringe. Timer to my right on my iPad that you can't see, but we are going to start the timer after I flood it. So there we go. It is all flooded. And I realize now this is alcohol based, so my writing just disappeared. And then we have Eosin. Take off the excess. And this is non-toxic, so I'm not wearing gloves. Start the timer. Get our methylene blue ready. All right, start the timer. All right, then we dip out or take off the excess, and then we dip it in water for 10 seconds. Have the timer going. All right, and then 10 seconds. And now we just let our slide air dry. So here is the finished slide. Everything is air dried. So let's put it under the microscope and see what it looks like. So overall, I would say the stain is pretty decent. Here I found a eosinophil in the center, and then to the left of that is a neutrophil. Two more neutrophils, and then we have a lymphocyte. So we can move it around even more. And here we have two neutrophils. RBCs are looking pretty decent. Here we have a monocyte. And here we have a beautiful EO that stained perfectly.